What? And I'm going to give you one opportunity because we're friends.
Winner! Who gives a shit about where the ball's been?
Yeah, F him. They went from loving this guy, best move ever, to hating him.
I think it's the most ridiculous thing in the world.
I love it because it tells you how the game was played.
There's nowhere for him to go. I think there's one place.
You can't do that in the national team.
Those things that are absolutely insane.
Successful and sexy? No. It wasn't aggravating at times? Yes.
Sorry,
That's not very fair.
It's not about being fair.
Welcome to the greatest soccer show ever.
Hey, welcome back, friends. Yep, it's me, your handsome, wonderfully handsome host, Craig Hearn, from We Are Soccer. It's the recap show. Yeah, we do this every Sunday night. You know us. You like joining in because it's fun. We talk soccer. We talk in football from around the world. If it's youth soccer or pro soccer, we're talking about it, and we're talking about everything in between. All while having some fun and doing a little banter because guess what? That's what we do, and that's what it's all about. All right, lots to get to. Bundesliga's back. I know our buddy Nate is happy. He's been texting me all weekend, giving me scores of games, giving me updates on the Bundesliga. Thank you, Nate. Appreciate it. Second week of the EPL, and my team's not going to make it. Damn it, I think we're going to get relegated. Along with Manchester United.
Fire everyone.
Oh, God, fire everybody. Oh, jeez.
Stuka fired their coach.
What?
Already?
No. With the Bundesliga, you actually got a question. You're like, wait a minute. Whoa.
It's very possible in the Bundesliga.
Yeah, we lost 2 games.
Yeah,
Fired.
Done. EPL back second week. We're going to talk about that. That's going to be the hot topic. We got some great games. Let us know which games you were watching this weekend and your thoughts. We're going to talk about some of the stars, some of the goals, some of the weird things that happened. And then we're trying something new tonight, folks. 10 p.m. 10 p.m. If you can stick around that long, stay awake. 10 p.m. We're going to flash up a banner right here on the screen. And it's got a phone number you can call and talk to us. Yeah, you can call and talk to us. Tell us what you mad about. What's got you up in arms? Why you so mad, bro? Call us and tell us. We'll see how that goes. All right. Before we jump in, before we start getting into the fun and zany soccer talk, I do want to tell everybody a big thank you. Big thank you to Soccer World. Big thank you to Next Level Training. Thank you to the Michigan Jags. Thank you to Thomas McGee's. Hey, make sure you get down to Thomas McGee's for all of the EPL and Bundesliga games because they show them all on those TVs, all while serving delicious beer. Big thank you to the football doc, Dr. Zachary Atwood. If you've got anything that needs to be healed, go to the doctor, football doc, Dr. Zachary Atwood. Big thank you to Fab Football Academy, located in England. Ooh, that means they must be good. They are good. They're located in England. You got a gap year. You looking to get scouted and get seen by a team in England? Fab Football Academy. Google them. Check them out. Good dudes. Good academy. All right, not just me here. Yeah. We got our Bundesliga expert, our MLS expert, our I almost want to say newly crowned NWSL expert, Brooks, because you and I have been talking so much about NWSL that you've almost become an expert. We're going to talk about the new CBA for the NWSL a little later, but before we get to that, Nate, let me switch screens. Nate, hi, buddy. How are you?
I had a bug fly in my ear right when I was getting in my car, and it's the weirdest feeling ever. You ever have that?
No.
Like right in the ear. Bam! Like right there. Like it might be in my brain. I don't know. It was like right getting in. I'm like, damn it. I've seen this horror movie. And like it's still weirding me out.
What's worse, in your ear or in your mouth?
In the ear.
Nose.
No. Ooh.
Nose is pretty bad too. Nose is pretty bad too.
Yeah.
What about in your eye?
Not really, because it just bounces out. Mouth, you chew it, eat it, you're done. Nose and ear, you have to question whether or not it's still in there, and if it always feels like it's still in there, but you're not really quite sure if it's still in there. Yeah. So
Maybe it's eating your brain.
that's what I suggested.
Oh God.
Hey.
Oh, shit. All right. Well, call the medic. Sounds like you've had a fun weekend.
Bug right in the ear.
Right in the ear.
Tournament. It was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tired.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Danny's not here.
I say Danny's not here because of that same tournament, but
it takes a lot out of you.
Oh,
Like I had early games and I was there like all day Saturday. I was all there Sunday. I can only imagine how Danny feels because he was there before me and he's there after me. So it's tough. It makes for a long weekend that you're just drained at the end of it.
Oh, I believe it.
Yeah.
Brooks, how are you, buddy? Doing all right?
Yeah, I'm good. Let's see. I watched Oakland University play the University of Omaha earlier this week. That was the opening of the college, and watching some college matches on. So it was Thursday night, then Friday night watching some on ESPN Plus. Watching IU play at St. Louis. And then Portland and Washington playing. So, yeah, that was good. And, yes, it's very hot in here, and I'm sweating a lot. So it's going to be a sauna in here tonight.
It's definitely hot in here. You're definitely looking forward to the call-in piece, right? You're looking forward to answering all those questions that people are they're gonna call, but there's going to be a giant phone number that shows up on the screen, right?
Yeah.
Here, right about
No one's calling, are they?
here. No one's calling.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
No,
We're gonna sit there and be like, "Hey, we got this.
I know.
Anyone want to call in?"
Yeah.
Hey, call us.
Yeah.
We're going to talk.
Be like my mom 10 times, just calling just different names.
She already calls me enough.
Maybe your kids will call in.
Oh,
Will your kids call in?
No, they're asleep, Brooks,
Oh, man.
because they're young.
My kids are supposed to be asleep, but I bet you they are not.
Probably.
Yeah.
This is the kid segment of the show. Anyways, on to the soccer.
On to the soccer. All right, listen, boys, I don't know where we want to start, but it was a hell of a weekend for a lot of teams. 2 games into the English Premier League, and some of those teams are flying. Some of them have some big problems to sort out, and some of them, so-so. Why don't we start with what I think was probably one of the more entertaining games of the weekend? 2, we'll call them marquee teams. My Aston Villa at home to Arsenal. Last year, Aston Villa stopped, I want to say it right now, we are the reason that Arsenal did not win the EPL championship. It was us. You came to Villa Park, you lost 1-0. We went to your place down there in London. We went to the Emirates, and you know what we did? We beat you 2-0. You're welcome, Arsenal and the rest of the league. You're welcome, because you know what? We were good last year. This year, we went to West Ham first week, win 2-1. This week, we're at home to Arsenal, and we're thinking, all right, we got this. And I'll be very honest, I think Aston Villa actually played really well. I think Villa played really well. We fluffed 2 or 3 easy chances. Ollie Watkins, one in the first half, one in the second half. I will say fluffed it because he hit it pretty much in the direction that David Raya, the goalkeeper, can get to it on a save, and he did. He made a save. Great save by David Raya. There was another one that I think we should have smashed into the back of the net, but we didn't. And then Arsenal, who, Yes, I am picking them. I'm still picking them to win the league this year. Did what all great teams do. Hung on, keep hanging on, keep it 0-0, and then take one opportunity, and it's in the back of the net. And then Villa changed it up, pushed forward, opened themselves up, and it's 2-0. Villa lose 2-0. I'm very bummed. Yes, absolutely very bummed about it. But there were a lot of positives for Villa to take away. If our striker was in form, if our striker was on his game in that day, maybe Villa winning 2-0. But other than that, Arsenal, they played well, boys. I
mean, Reyna had a couple really good saves
He
that
did.
game. He had that one double save where it went off the post. Well, that wasn't really a double save, but he went down, right? It hit the crossbar and then sprung back up and made that one other that save there.
But as a striker who's coming in on the 6-yard line and you're heading straight in, man, you just put it there.
He was full stretched. I mean,
Yeah.
that was bang bang. I mean,
Yeah.
any other time that probably goes in,
Yeah.
not that time.
Yeah.
You know, that was a tremendous save.
And that changes the game.
Oh,
if
for
that
sure.
goes in, that's 1-0. But the one early in the first half that Ollie Watkins missed, he's under around about 10 yards out. Ball's literally on the ground, rolled to him, and he's just fluffed it with his right foot and put it wide of the post. David Raya dived in the wrong direction. Yeah, I mean, listen, it happens. Some of the best strikers we saw the best striker in the world last year, Erling Haaland, miss a couple like that. It happens. It 100% happens. Unfortunately, it was in a huge game where we didn't have many opportunities, and that's the way it goes. So yeah, Villa lose 2-0. Arsenal, full credit. Two good goals there to hang on and win and beat Villa, and then they're looking class, boys. I don't know about you, Nate. You and I picked them to win the league.
Because we're awesome.
You still feel confident about your pick of Arsenal winning the league?
Yeah. Why would I? It's week 2. Why would I change it now?
Yeah.
Why would I change it
my
now?
pick's on the top, Man City.
Oh, I mean,
They were down
on top.
1-0, though,
were.
earlier to Ipswich.
It's Ipswich Town.
Yeah,
Ipswich.
early on.
They played Ipswich Town in the 58-man roster Chelsea. Okay, they needed Chelsea, and I get it. They did well today, but
We'll talk about Chelsea.
They
for
needed
sure.
time to sort out whatever 168 players were going to be playing that day. So
Nate, you're gonna like this. We'll get to it in a little bit.
I like everything
The Bayern Munich sporting director,
except for bugs in my ear.
except for here, the Bayern Munich sporting director had a comment about some of the players in his squad, and what did he do? He snuck in a quick jab about Chelsea and the amount of players they have. We're gonna talk about that in a little
Jabby.
bit. Yeah, it's pretty fun. All right, so that was what I'm calling game of the weekend: Aston Villa versus Arsenal at Villa Park. Villa Park, newly decorated, by the way. A lot of new pieces around Villa Park, I think. Listen, I'm going to say right now, in preseason, Villa looked way off the pace. They looked like crap. They looked like, this could be in trouble. West Ham, they could have won a lot more than 2-1. Should have probably been 4-1. Didn't put away their opportunities. This week, didn't put away their opportunities, but I thought they outplayed Arsenal for large stretches of the game. Villa look like they know what they're doing. They're back in form. And they've got players they haven't taken off the bench yet, who I think could be starting. So I'm not worried about Aston Villa. I do think they finished in the top 4 or 5. I think this is going to be a great year again for Aston Villa. Here you go. I'm going to tell you right now. I said it last week, and then you know what happened after the Arsenal game? Everybody's jumping on the bandwagon of what I said. I'm like, I know people watch this damn show because everybody's saying the exact same effing thing I've been saying. Do you know what it is? 21-year-old Morgan Rogers. This kid is pure class. This kid is going to be a superstar. He turned Declan Rice inside out 2 or 3 times in that midfield on Saturday morning. He was electric. Best player on the field for both teams, in my opinion. I thought William Saliba, don't get me wrong, William Saliba did a phenomenal job on Ollie Watkins in the Villa front line. But I thought Odegaard and Declan Rice could not hang with Morgan Rogers. Keep your eye on this, folks. Keep your eye on this kid, folks. You know what popped up today in my feed? Oh, the 2 Robbies and someone else doing a small video on Morgan Rogers saying the exact same effing thing I said last week about him.
See, I think he
Heard it here
should.
first. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because because I want to be a contrarian.
Because
Everyone else says he's good.
Yeah,
Not me, not this guy. I figure I got a 50-50 chance.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You know?
He might end up being great, or he might end up Yeah.
Sometimes good, sometimes shit.
He's 21, so it could go in either direction. But so far, 2 games, he's been the stud of the Premiership, in my opinion. No goals, but that's okay.
But he had a good game.
He
had a good
really did.
In all seriousness,
Yeah.
he had a good game.
The amount of dribbles he had, he is a connector. He's a come back. I'm going to come back, get the ball from my defense, and I'm going to turn and I'm going to go past one of the midfielders, and I'm going to push the ball off wide. That's his job. He did it several times where he wasn't confronted after he beat the first defender, so he traveled another 30 yards with it, and then either dished the ball off or had a couple of shots himself. He's going to score some goals.
He created the most chances in the match.
Yeah.
And he had won the most duels. He had the most take-ons. So, I mean, if you're creating the chances, eventually they're going to go in.
Yeah.
You know? So he's doing the right stuff. He just needs to keep going. And this is his second start? You're smarter than me.
He started a couple of games in the spring for us, but this year, second start. So here's the funny thing. So he was on the books at Manchester City while he was younger. He was on the books at West Bromwich Albion, on the books at Manchester City. Then he was up at Middlesbrough, and Villa bid on him.
Middlesbrough.
To you, to Nate.
Middlesbrough. Help me out, Brooks. Middlesbrough.
You guys call it Middlesbrough. I'm going to call it by
Aidan Morris is there, so yeah.
The formal
I'm happy
name
about
of
that.
Middlesbrough.
Yeah.
So Villa bid for him. The offer originally was rejected last year. Villa came back and upped their offer by £5 million. Now the offer that was accepted was £19 million, and everybody went, £19 million for a kid in the Championship? Do you guys know what you're doing? Yeah, they do. They know what they're doing. They picked up a real stud here. So anyway, that was my game of the week that I was just enthralled with, obviously Villa being a Villa fan. I could have gone either way. All right, next
You're
game.
a Villa fan?
Somewhat.
And that was the game of the week?
I know.
I am shocked.
Well, I mean, you got a team that finished second and a team that finished fourth last year. Kind of going to be the game of the week, you know?
No, I'm just kidding. That probably was one of the better lineups. So I'm just joking with you.
And again, I think props to Arsenal. They played really well. I still think they're going to be the team to beat at the end of the year. Yes, bro.
Yeah, some comments here. Some of the matches everyone's watching this weekend. So let's see. Mr. Chris Rosen. Watching a little Tottenham this weekend, as well as watching former OCFC Alex DeLue playing for Tulsa FC in USL Championship. And then Pablo watching he's currently rewatching the River Plate Newell's Old Boys game.
Oh, big matchup.
We're taking no comments from Pablo until he brings me food at the end of the games like he didn't do today.
So you guys played against each other today.
And he didn't bring me any food.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, so he's dead to me.
What's your response, Pablo?
Pablo is Argentinian, and they have that drink that they all carry around in that little cup.
Herbo mates.
Matcha?
Yeah.
What is it?
It's herbo mate, and I drink it, and that's nothing new. What I'm talking about is the food that he makes at his house, and then he puts on Facebook, and then I see the pictures, and I go, where the hell's mine? And he goes, oh, and I'm like, damn it, Pablo, I'm not messing around anymore.
Well, now I want some of this.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
Yeah. Now
Delicious rice dishes.
Rice. Ooh.
Paellas.
Paella. That's Cucurella Paella. That's the song he sings.
Yeah, well, you know, that went well for him. That aged well, yeah.
And I do see Chris Rosen put a nice little comment, less Villa, more other stuff. Go
Yes.
F yourself, Chris Rosen. I say that in the nicest way possible. All right, we are going to get on to some other. You got any other comments from the viewers there?
Brent Claudio.
Brent Claudio.
Brighton over United. So it seems like he's happy about that one.
He's very
Is
happy.
he a Chelsea fan?
He is.
Okay.
Yes.
He probably doesn't like the things I say about Chelsea.
He probably not. Ask him which of the 106 players they have on the staff that he's a fan of.
Yeah.
110.
110. He did sign a new player. They are looking to offload some players. We got some
They're
news.
looking to sign Sancho.
Pablo says it's
That's the rumor. It's
Pablo
funny.
says it is a yerba mate, or yerba mate, and it's paella. Paella.
Well, the
I've
first
had
one I said
neither.
right. The second one, you would expect me 1 out of 2 is my average.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
So, Nate, the funny thing is, my brother sent me this week, there's a video, I think it was CNBC or NBC Sports did it, all teams, all players saying their own names so that we can all pronounce the names correctly.
nope.
So it's 126 minutes long. The first 56 minutes are all Chelsea, by the way. all their players going through their names. So you could. But I was like, I told my brother, I'm like, send me this video so I can send it to Nate so he can now pronounce all the players.
Nope.
No, yeah,
I won't watch that.
I didn't think so.
Yeah.
No, I didn't think so. All right. Excuse me. All right. Let's jump in. Why don't we talk about that Man United Brighton Hove Albion game?
No, we're good.
No,
Yes, move on.
skip right past it.
I'm happy.
Keep
Well,
going.
I watched the highlights, but you know.
Well, we're going to talk about it. All right. All right. I do want to say, stick around because the most entertaining game of the weekend to me was that Liverpool game, by the way. And I've got reasons and I've got some thoughts and I got a lot of bullet points on this. So stick around for that. But we are going to get to, I do want to get to that. If I can scroll down the list here. Good Lord. That Man United Brighton game at Brighton. Big win for Brighton. Loads of Man United players. So this is some of my notes that I took during this game. Loads of Man United players looking around and complaining at each other during the play when something breaks down. So when a pass goes astray or someone misses a certain obvious pass, I saw a couple of players just looking around at each other like, you know, doing just, and that's not a good look in my opinion. So they started to get on each other a little bit here, which led to some in all honesty, I thought Brighton in the second half they could have been up 3 or 4-0 in the first 5 minutes, 10 minutes of the second half, and probably should have been with a little bit better finishing. It doesn't look like right now Man United's on the same page. So I know they had some players come in late in the window. There's probably some extra training sessions that are needed, but I think they'll get there. But they were just disjointed. And a little bit of bad luck, obviously, when Garnacho goes, could have put them up 2-1, and he puts the ball on net and hit Zerke.
Taps Zerke. I mean, there's a couple moments where it was just like,
yeah,
didn't go their way.
Exactly.
My issue is how Brighton went ahead.
The goal in the 7th minute or the heck.
Yeah, like two players just stand by themselves, twiddling their thumbs, and like neither defender or winger to be found anywhere in the vicinity. I don't even think they were in the stadium at that point.
Oh, I agree.
I mean, I think they went to the locker room and they went, "Oh wait, what?"
The best thing I heard, Nate, I read this on Twitter from someone who I don't know who it was. This was a pundit, and it was like, that goal, the winning goal that Brighton scored, there was actually 2 or 3 breakdowns in that entire scenario.
I think on that one, I saw the replay. I mean, the defender never stepped to him. They just gave him a free cross.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so easy.
Yeah, and then the back stick, you got João Pedro standing there by himself.
Mm-hmm. Not only him, João Pedro and friends.
Yeah, you're right. There were a few of them.
If he accidentally drops dead and misses it, there was a friend behind him to put it in the back of the net. You're not wrong. It did look the whole game. I thought Brighton, by the way, let's give credit where credit is due. I thought Brighton put together a nice game plan.
Sure.
I thought they played very well. Danny Welbeck still in this league and still scoring goals and still getting the job done. James Milner moved to double pivot 6 position, still doing an all right job there.
So is the new coach pretty brilliant?
37? I think the new
What do you
coach
think,
is
Nate?
doing well. I think the new coach did well.
Luck or brilliance?
Game 2.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
We're early.
Look, genius, masterclass, greatest ever. Second game.
So you don't want to put them in the top
So we'll
4,
say after 10.
No,
not
Stuttgart
right
fired their coach.
So after 10 games, we have a better reading.
Yeah, I mean, it goes with everyone. Right. But they put together a good game plan, and they executed it well, and they played well. So, we'll see as it goes. But I don't give credit.
Sure.
I just shouldn't say I wouldn't oversell or undersell anyone at this juncture in the league.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
The one thing I will say is, Nate, you're 100% correct.
Yeah.
It's 2 games in.
2 games in.
But what I will say is there was Casemiro turned around a couple of times and looked at players and he put his hands and he shrugged his shoulders and he did a little point. And then Mainu did it once. I think Anthony did it once. And that can't happen. I got a feeling Eric Ten Hag comes in and goes, we're 2 games in. Casemiro, you're supposed to be a leader of this group or an elder senior leader. Chill the F out in that stuff, right? Because you're going to lose a game here and there. You're going to play bad here or there, but it's how you respond and how you interact in the game.
Job as a leader to hold your teammates to a higher caliber, and when they're not performing to what you would think is good, then you point it out.
But it's also Yes.
It's a fine line.
Yeah,
It's a fine line.
Yeah, fine
I
line.
see what you're saying. It's a fine line, but at the same time, it's kind of what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Like, and that's what other, like, Roy Keane did that stuff. You know what I mean? Like, the biggest player that I have an issue with right now is actually Marcus Rashford.
Yes.
2 games in, not a shot on net. What are you doing?
Really off the pace. And they've been saying that he has.
He's under a microscope right now. They're saying.
And they've been saying that he's been doing extra trainings with Ruud van Nistelrooy to work
Better.
on things. It ain't showing yet. But again, 2 games in.
Yep.
2 games in. Who knows?
Yeah.
I think what really is going to be a telling feature for this team is if Højlund gets back and they're still underperforming like this, then there's something drastically wrong. But I think once he gets back and you can put him and then push players into their proper positions, it'll be a better. We'll have a better look at the team.
And there's moves afoot. So the Mikitomi is pretty much signed, sealed, deliver out the door for $30 million.
Yep.
Strange that they played him yesterday. Why would you play him when that is in the negotiation? So it looks like we're in the 25 million euro range to Napoli.
Maybe they got annoyed with Napoli playing games and said, "Listen, we're just going to play him, and we're fine."
Napoli to play with Crazy Conte?
Yes, he goes to play to Conte, who's called out that team and said this team needs pretty much open heart surgery, and it's going to be a while before they get back to win. But so I believe, sorry, Nate, I do want to jump on this. 25 million euros, from Napoli to Man United. McTominay in the other direction. Add-ons of 5 to 10, depending on.
5 to 10.
And then there's a sell-on clause as well.
Sell-on
So
clause.
I think United were originally asking for 40, so it looks like Napoli have bargained them down, and they've said, we'll give you a sell-on clause, and we'll put in some stipulations if we make or do whatever.
30 is the number I always heard.
Okay.
30 was the number that they were aiming, and I believe Fulham was around 20, and that's where they were rejecting.
That was a no.
And Erik ten Hag was actually okay with keeping him. I think he was open and saying, you know what, we're all right keeping him. It's fine. This then triggers, they're pretty much saying Urigate's going over there, which will be...
Ugarte now will be on his way because United will be able to take that money and shift it over to PSG.
Which will be a help. I mean, I think he'll be a decent player in and be added to that lineup and critical in the midfield. I still think they have one more lever to pull because I was hearing rumors that they didn't need to sell McTominay in order to get Ugarte.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm wondering if they got one more player in their mind that they might be bringing in on also the backs of maybe Sancho going as well.
Yeah, so the rumors about Sancho will get there. There's several rumors afoot with him. Several clubs out there, and the big stumbling block right now is most likely his salary of about £350,000 per week. So everybody's very worried about bringing him in with the salary that he has. Yeah. But I'm interested to see if there is another player coming in that they are looking at. But from what I can see from where I sit, it looks like they had to sell McTominay or anybody to bring Ugarte in. So maybe I'm wrong. We'll see.
According to Fabrizio Romano and according to a lot of sources, they were good. They just didn't want to. They didn't want to. They preferred to move them on, so they're not ending up like a Chelsea.
Yep.
And so they bring the money in, and then go get them. Sure. But apparently they were fine where they could have brought them in.
All right, Nate, as the resident Man United fan here, week 2, not a win against Fulham last week. Not super convincing. This week, a loss at Brighton, Hove Albion. Mm-hmm. Yes, you played against Brighton, and then you played against Hove Albion. So 2 teams, essentially, that beat you this week. Any concerns as a Man United fan right now?
I mean, it's just too early.
Just week 2. Okay.
Just week 2. I mean, you don't want to drop points early on. You'd want them to win. You want them to build momentum. But reality is United historically always start slow in the beginning and then pick it up towards the end. Yep. So I'm not hitting a panic button yet. I think it'll take time to get some of these guys blooded in a little bit. Sticky. I mean, you even see it with West Ham where some of their new signings aren't starting, but then slowly coming in as well, which is fine. But we'll see how it goes down the line. I like the players they picked up. I like what they were trying to do. Yep. Time will tell.
Yep. Brooks.
Yeah, Brent with a comment. McTominay has gone to Napoli. We were just talking about. I mean, he says going to be, obviously. Do we think this is all right? He needed to go, right?
I think so, yeah. I think he's at that long for that many managers not carving yourself out as a legitimate starting role. Mm-hmm. Time to go.
I don't see.
Time to go.
I would say no. just for the fact that last year he found himself starting a couple games with injuries in the middle, and he did a very good job.
He did an all right job, yeah.
I mean, he scored several goals, big goals last year. That without those goals, I don't know if anybody's able to fill that hole.
But let's stop pretending he's a forward. Let's stop pretending he's an attacking midfielder. He's not.
Yeah.
So he's not a forward. He's not an attacking midfielder.
But
What
he's
is
a
he?
solid squad player
But
who can fill the holes where you need.
He's an okay squad player at best that you now are profiting $30 million from and bringing in a possible starter.
Yep.
That's what you need.
Who sits the bench? Who is
Depends on the rotation.
probably Mason Mount at this point. There's a lot of unhappy.
We'll see. Yeah, maybe
back
Mason
camp.
Mount. I think Mason Mount is actually more of a squad player. I think it could be some type of rotation because Urgate, when he comes, Mount's more of an attacking midfielder. Mount and Fernandez should be rotating. Urgate, Manu, and Casemiro.
I was going to
should
say,
be
if you
rotating.
Ugarte and Menu can play in the back, and you can actually push Bruno Fernandes ahead where his normal
Right.
position should be and get Mount out.
Actually, this Urgate and Manu subbing in and out, or even some type of combination, would actually allow Casemiro to push up forward, which he's very good when he pushes forward. When he goes with finishing and stuff. That was year one when he was able to push forward more.
Or he could be the fall man here because he's
Or he could be
lost
the
his
odd man
step.
out.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'll take a starter and move him to a bench
Sure.
any time of the week.
Yep. Brooks.
A couple more comments here. So Ryan Orkstrom decided to comment here.
Oak.
Yeah, I have concerns as a Man United fan. Eric Ten Hag sucks. His lineup suck. His in-game management sucks. He sucks. And then Brent responds, I take McTominay at Chelsea in the midfield.
Sure. I mean, he could absolutely be your 152 midfielder. That makes a lot of sense.
I'm still laughing at Oak's comments. And
He is a diehard Man United
Rosen,
fan.
I don't know about that. So it sounds like with the comments coming in, we might have a lot of people around the 10 o'clock mark calling in because right down here.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait to screw this.
Number that you guys
I
can
can't wait.
call in.
I can't wait for this to go so belly up and not work.
We're gonna get like
know.
50 viewers being like, I want to call in.
Yeah, we're gonna have either so many people call in, and if that happens and they're like a-holes to us, I'm just gonna have Nate answer the phone. You guys will have to deal with Nate.
Yeah.
Nate's like a rabid dog. When he
Nobody
gets
wants to
pissed
deal
off.
with Nate.
Nate, I'm just gonna be like, hey Nate, there's another guy who says Man United and Stuttgart suck. Here, you answer.
I'm
the
more
phone.
offended with the Stuttgart portion at this juncture. I might agree with the United portion. Be like, he's got a point. I mean, hear him out.
Yeah, let's hear what he has to
Let's
say.
hear what he has to say.
That's awesome. All right, let's move on. There's a lot of other games that happened this weekend. I want to touch base on a lot of them, but listen, if I can get back to it, let's jump in and talk about that Liverpool game. I don't know if anybody watched this, but I did not expect Liverpool to be able to and listen. Temper the expectations, Craig. Temper the expectations, all the Liverpool fans. Again, I'm not a Liverpool fan. I probably dislike them just as much as I dislike Man United. So it pains me a little bit to say this, but I had them in my predictions. I had Liverpool finishing 7th this year because
Are they surprising you?
because they brought in no new players. They brought in a brand new manager who's not used to this league,
He's got a cool name.
Arnie Slot.
Yeah.
They
How is Arnie Slot?
They got
a
some
cool name?
older players.
I'll slot you.
Salah, Virgil van Dijk.
Yeah. I don't know what that means.
And I figured, okay, I don't see them progressing this year. And yes, they played Brentford. Brentford are not top of the table. Brentford ain't going to win the EPL this year. They're not going to pull the Leicester City. They're not going to get relegated, but it's mid-table Brentford without Ivan Toney. But the football that Liverpool played today was just so entertaining to me. I was enthralled by it. The 1-2s, the passing, the movement, the unselfishness.
Klopp-esque?
No, better. I
Very
was
Dutch?
blown away.
Yeah. Isn't he Dutch?
By the passing. All the players. I really was a little confused that Jota started up top. I would have thought either Gapco or Darwin Núñez, but Jota played up top and played phenomenal. Mo Salah did what Mo Salah does. But you know what he did this time? This time in this game, compared to any other game I've ever seen him play, cut into the left and started cut into the left a lot sooner than he normally does. Cut into the left and started playing 1-2s with his teammates. Always looking to combine. Incredible. I thought the player who pulled the strings today for me that really stood out, which I don't know if a lot of people will give him credit, Alexis McAllister. McAllister was pulling the strings from the midfield from a deep lying midfield position. And
He was
I
good at
thought
Brighton,
was
and he was good for
phenomenal.
Argentine national team.
Yeah.
He makes plays.
I think last year he was getting comfortable with Liverpool, and then he picked up an injury or two.
Mm-hmm.
This year, I think, will be his year. I think he is going to be the leader of that team. Brentford did all right. They had a couple of breaks, a couple of little chances, but other than that, Liverpool snuffed them out. The only thing I worry about with Liverpool, boys, is their depth.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they have the depth coming off the bench. Now, later in the game, they had Darwin Núñez come off the bench. They had Cody Gakpo come off the bench. They had Harvey Elliott come off the bench. Those are the three players. But besides that, you go, okay, there's a lot of competitions. You're in Europe, Champions League specifically. You got the League Cup, you got the FA Cup, you got the EPL. There's injuries that happen in this league.
Yep.
That could be the downfall.
They played Ipswich.
Yep.
And Brentford.
Yes, but it was the
It's like slow your roll.
it was the style of play I was not expecting. I predicted that they were gonna. I think what he did was he took the Jurgen Klopp style and put it on steroids.
Well,
Like
I mean-
it was great.
I
It
mean-
was phenomenal.
I mean, in all seriousness, often a League One team can play really well against the League Two team of Ipswich.
That was last week,
And
yes,
Brentford.
and it was 0-0 at halftime last week.
Hey, real quick for fun, name someone on that Brentford lineup. Just really quick, anyone. Name one player.
Wamba up top.
Ah, son of a bitch.
Yeah, he's there.
Name two.
Ah.
But in all seriousness, I was just really impressed by how Liverpool played. I'd love to know from Liverpool fans if they are worried about the depth that they have within the squad, because it doesn't seem you haven't made any signings. There's no signings. You're the only club really who's made no sign. You made one signing, I think, and it just happened in the last week, and it's not really a big name. Brooks, we got comments.
Yeah. Chris Rosen, is Luis Diaz a top 6 player in the world right now?
Top 6? No, I don't think top 6. But I will say he is a top 20 player for sure. I thought he played phenomenal as well. His goal today was brilliant. He is so quick. He's got a great touch as well. No, not top. I don't know, top 6. Don't people usually say like top 5 or top 10? But
Usually.
6, that's weird.
Usually.
He's a good player. He's a really, really good player. I think he's gonna have a great year as well.
Is he a top 7?
No. I would put him in the top 20 right now for sure. He
about-
played really well in Copa, by the way, for Colombia. He played really well.
About top 7.5.
No.
Top 9.
Top 20. I'd put
Top
him in
11?
Top 20 for sure.
Just go odd numbers.
Why?
keep
Why?
Top 9?
No,
No.
that's weird.
Yeah.
Oh, Chris, that was funny.
Top 15?
That was funny.
He said in his position.
Yeah. All right.
Still no?
Still no. In his position? I don't know, to be honest. Sorry, as I'm looking for something on my screen at the moment. I was really impressed with him today, but we also, as Nate said, listen, temper your expectations, man. It's week 2.
They've won the league.
It's good they've won. If they played like they did today.
If we
they won
stop
the
now, Brighton's in Champions League, so there
league.
you
Yeah.
go.
By the way, guys,
What they did like this last year too?
Yeah.
And you were giddy, and then all of a sudden, like a stone.
But don't forget, we sold some players that we just had to go. Like, it was their time. It was the year before when they were holding up there, then they dropped a little bit. If it's a top 7, 8, I'm good with that. If they finish top 8, that's good.
Like a stone in the water.
Brighton, who are running out a 37-year-old in the midfield, James Milner.
He's good again.
He drinks from the fountain of youth, Craig. He drinks from the fountain of youth,
I
and
would
that's
love-
why he still
I
plays.
would love to know where that fountain of youth is, by
Yes.
the way, but he's going to get tired, or he's going to pull a muscle and be out for several months.
Don't you say that about
Sorry,
Lies.
Mr. Milner.
He's giving us hope.
He is. Next to Billy Gilmore. Come on now.
Billy Gilmore is a great pickup.
He is.
He's a great player.
He is. They just need some depth in that midfield in case Milner does go down.
They just need depth.
Yes.
All right, let's
moving
move
on.
Crystal Palace 0, West Ham United 2. West Ham put it together. Crystal Palace have some issues. Apparently, there's a lot of things going on inside of the club that people are very concerned about right now. So Crystal Palace are struggling at the moment. Thomas Souček and Jared Bowen, two guys who haven't come in this past summer to West Ham, two of their old stalwarts, score the goals. Good to see Jared Bowen get on the score sheet there. West Ham United, listen, boys, I said it last week after they played Villa. I think they're going to have a great year. I picked them to finish top 8. I think they're going to get back in form. I am really excited to see mid-season how Niklas Füllkrug, the German striker, is doing there. I think this could be a great year for him. Unfortunately for Crystal Palace, no wins, no draws, 2 losses. Struggle bus. They started out like this last year. Could be them again. We
have a comment.
It has to be good because
It is. It's from Oaks. He says, I personally saw you schooling 19-year-old kids in our open game, Hearn. You also have a hidden fountain of youth in your backyard, pal.
Oh God, I wish. But what he didn't see was me going home crying that I was
Ointment!
so sore. Ointment and
My hamstring.
drinking lots of alcohol. That's my fountain of youth.
Dr. Zach said, don't do that.
Corona, he did.
What does he know?
Yeah.
Yeah, he said that's not good. Don't drink alcohol because that's not. He asked me
What?
he asked me what I did after games. Like he's like, well, so what type of stretches? What do you eat after games? I said, Coronas, usually 2, pretty quick.
With a lime.
With a lime, absolutely.
Yes.
You got to have the fruit.
Yes.
It's
Steroids
healthy,
and vodka, baby.
Right. And then I said usually another 2 Coronas fairly quickly after that as well. And then if the kitchen's still open, I go with some chips and salsa.
There you go.
What about that lemon pepper fries?
Oh, yeah, the lemon pepper fries from the local place. He is pretty good. All right, so listen, West Ham, I think, are going to be phenomenal this year. This is a game that I picked to draw on. Fulham versus Leicester City. Fulham get the win there. Emile Smith-Rowe gets his first goal for Fulham. Glad to see that. Yep. Leicester City. You wouldn't have picked. You would have picked Jamie Vardy to get the goal, but he didn't. But I love the fact that did anybody see in that Monday game against Tottenham? Did anybody see what he did when the Tottenham fans were giving him a load of?
He said,
yeah.
we've won the league and you haven't.
He pointed to the EPL patch and said,
Yeah. Yeah.
None. Hey, you know what? Careful who you yell at there, Tottenham fans, because that was pretty good. That was a pretty good comeback, wasn't it?
He led the team that year when they won in that random year.
He did, and he stuck with him. He got relegated. He had offers to leave, by the way. Stuck with him, wanted to bring him back, brought him back. Now they're in the Premiership, 1-1. I'm sorry, 0-1-1. A draw last week versus Tottenham. Really, really nice draw, by the way, for Leicester City there. But then they head to Fulham and get downed 2-1. It's going to be a struggle for Leicester City this year, boys. They don't have the strongest team in the world. It was a good draw against Tottenham. Pretty lucky, if we're being honest.
Yeah.
All right, we got a couple of games left we're going to talk about here. Manchester City 4, Ipswich 1. Ipswich scored first, by the way.
Everyone was happy for like a good 10 minutes.
Everybody was so happy.
And then City went, oh shit, we're playing Ipswich.
Yeah.
Hey guys, we're playing Ipswich. Ah.
Switch it on.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Holland?
Yeah.
All right.
Holland. Is this thing on? How do I turn it? That little switch on the back?
You switch it on.
Oh, right, this?
Yes.
Oh, now it's firing up.
Yeah.
Goal 1, 2, and 3. He scored another hat trick.
Enjoy your false hope as we shit on you.
Yes. I mean, literally, once that goal went in the back of the net, and you see Man City pulling the ball in the back of the net and walking it to midfield, you're like, oh shit, Ipswich, you just gone down, pissed him off.
Did you think
gone down, pissed him off?
Pep's like,
oh my god.
before the game's like, listen, they're new. They haven't really been here before. Let's let them have a goal.
They rode a bunch of tractors here.
Let them have a goal, and then we'll go ahead and play.
Yeah.
All right. You know, just like he's the youth coach but in an underdivision team. He's like, all right, guys, I want to see 5 passes combined before you score. All right. Yeah.
Everybody must touch the ball once before it goes in the back of the net.
Why is Holland playing in the net? Shut up.
Shut it.
Shut up.
Shut it.
Shut up.
We're in 7v7 again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is Gradeval playing striker? Because he's never scored yet. So
Yes,
we're gonna
'cause
put him. We're gonna put him. We want to make him feel good.
This
right?
is his one chance to score this year.
I make him feel good. All right.
I mean, that's essentially what happened. Ipswich are like, yes, oh my god. And you saw the coach. He's like, yeah,
I know what I'm doing.
we got a chance here. Everybody see what we just did there? And I'm like,
We planned it.
oh shit. No, literally, you gone down, pissed them off. Now it's Holland's gonna. Oh my god.
That's why you never want to score too soon.
Yes.
You wait, you let it, and then you score.
Yeah.
Towards the end.
A bit like England scoring 2 minutes into the Euros
run
against
away.
Italy in the final. Still too soon for that, by the way.
Yeah, you don't want to too soon, literally and metaphorically.
Yeah. Really. But Uganda pissed him off, and Haaland with another hat trick. Just phenomenal. The guy, when he wants to play, can play, and that's what he wants to do. Well done, Haaland. Did anybody see the picture of Jack Grealish on the bench looking up when he's like, oh, God.
Gundogan, you're here.
Ilkay Gundogan?
Yeah, when did you get to the party?
Either I'm still drunk from last night or I've entered I've teleported back to last season. What the hell? What the hell's going on?
Yeah, but that's a good pickup.
He's
for him.
like,
Oh, my God. It's a brilliant pickup.
yeah, he's like, darn it, I'm not going to play as much now.
Yeah. So let's talk about that pickup, by the way, because he left on a free. He left with his contract expired last year. Man City were a little upset, but they understood. Okay, he wants to go play at Barcelona. Barcelona offered him a lot of money because he's coming on a free. They put into the contract. It was a 3-year contract. They put into it that said, if anybody wants to come and buy you, the release clause is 100 million euros. And 1 year later, they're letting him walk back to Man City for free.
Canceling his contract.
Canceling.
Yeah.
Mutually canceling.
I'm surprised. Hansi Flick, the German coach,
Oh.
I'm surprised they let the German player go.
By the way, they let him go to open up a spot. They still don't have any room to register Danny Olmo. So that lever was pulled. Shit, that didn't work.
Spanish guy, right?
We gotta find another lever to pull.
Well,
levers.
So essentially,
Sucks
Gundogan
not having money.
and Danny Olmo play the same position.
Okay.
They're both attacking midfielders.
Yeah.
I can guarantee that Gundogan's contract is probably more than Danny Olmo's.
Sure.
And they needed a clear space, so that's probably why they mutually agreed to cancel it. It's that simple.
And he's younger, and he's
Yes.
got more
Probably
years.
could have sold him for something.
I don't think you could. 33.
I mean, I would have paid $10 million for him.
Would you pay $10 million for him if you realize he's on about 350, 100,000 wage a week?
Well, he
You know
would.
what I mean? Like that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
So
That's
he had
the
to-
problem.
He'd have to renegotiate with new team, right? So because he went back to because of his contract, he and Barcelona essentially canceled the contract.
Yep.
Overdone, cancel, go and find a new team. He went and found a new team, and he signed a new contract. So
That's the problem. His
But-
wages were.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's what happened with United with several of these players that they couldn't. They just had to let them expire. They couldn't sell because the wages are too big, and that's
That-
why you got to be careful.
that is 100%
It's
United's
probably
problem.
never going to happen with Chelsea either, with all 169 players that they.
No,
have.
because they got players under contract for a combined 189 years.
No, in 191, I think it was.
191,
see that?
189.
Yeah, come on.
The next closest is 92.
You see that graph where it's
I
just
was
like
shocked.
Chelsea. Whoop!
I was shocked Brighton
Next
was in the top
closest
3.
team. You're like, what the?
But
Yeah,
that's
Brighton was in the top 3. I was shocked.
I mean, that's
Was it
essentially.
really?
Yeah, they were like 94 or 95.
Wow, I didn't
Yeah.
notice that actually.
That's essentially probably what happened, and he probably went to a team that first City was like, "Yeah, we'd love to take you back, and this is what we're going to give you, and you'll end up winning and being in stuff, and you'll get played." And he went, "Sweet."
Yeah, I mean, he knows he's going to get into that team. He should,
Sure.
especially because
For sure. Well, he played at the start. He
Yep.
went in the 71st minute.
he went in.
So-
Oscar Bob just picked up an injury. He's out for a couple of months, so that's a midfielder position that opens up.
But-
Phil Foden hasn't gotten back up to speed yet. I think Ilkay Gundogan could quickly get back into the starting lineup.
Even with those guys healthy, De Bruyne is up there in age as well, and you're playing in a ton of tournaments.
Yep.
So it makes a lot of sense.
I thought 2 years ago when they won the treble, I thought he was by far their best player, in my opinion. Even though Haaland was there scoring goals, it was Ilkay Gundogan who was pushing the buttons and pushing the ball.
I mean,
in deciding which way to go down and how to attack. I thought he was absolutely phenomenal, and now they got him back on a free.
between him, well, they sold it. Well, no, they didn't.
No,
sell
they
him.
let him
Yeah,
go.
they let him go. They come on. But between him, like De Bruyne is the same age.
Yep.
So it's you got two 33-year-olds that you can just rotate that are both class.
Yep. I
You
mean,
know,
it's
why not?
incredible. All right. So last game I want to talk about that happened on Saturday. I'm sorry, there's two more. Southampton 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Boys, I think maybe did you guys pick Nottingham Forest to get relegated? This is a game that they needed to take points from, and they did. Southampton look poor. So I think Southampton and Nottingham Forest going to be two teams that end up in the bottom 4 or 5 here, and they could find themselves gone. Nottingham Forest away, pick up a point there. Morgan Gibbs-White with the goal in the 70th minute. Tottenham 4, Everton 0. Everton,
They're in trouble.
they're in trouble. Brooks,
Danny and I.
you and Danny picked them to get relegated. The way they've looked so far, damn, you might be right.
I think they sold the one player they had to you, and what are you gonna do? Run Jack Harrison out there and hope he scores you all the goals? I mean, he's a contributor, but he's not Calvert-Lewin hasn't done much, right?
Oh, Calvert-Lewin's forever injured.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Everton are in trouble. I don't know if Sean Dyche can pull this one out. This is going to be a
He's
tough
got
year.
it.
Got it in the bag?
He's got it.
Because he's Sean Dyche and he wears
They'll
short shorts in
be-
the winter?
Yes, they'll be fine.
Yeah?
They'll be fine.
All right. Well,
Mark my words.
they got nailed.
Let's see. They need to get
4-0.
points deducted though for them to get better.
Yes,
though.
they need
Yeah.
something to
They need an
spur them
incentive.
on- spur them on.
They tried to stop Sean Dyche with points deduction,
They did.
and that didn't even work.
That definitely didn't work. No.
It's the bald head.
Tottenham finally put it all together, 4-0 over Everton. But again, I think everybody's going to beat Everton like a drum this year. All right, so we'll move on as we finish up our EPL segment here. Then we'll show everybody the table. Other games that happened today. We'll let the Chelsea one happen in a second here. Bournemouth won. Newcastle United won. I'm very happy as a team that is going to be fighting from anywhere from 7th to 4th, Aston Villa, that I see Newcastle dropping points against someone like Bournemouth. I think Bournemouth finished in the lower half of the table. I think they actually get relegated this year. I think Newcastle dropping points here is a good thing for everybody else. A bit of a struggle there. I can see if Newcastle haven't entered the top 10 properly by end of October,
Eddie Howe's gone.
Eddie Howe gone. He gonna be gone. He can't. They are needing to really make a push for Champions League again. That's where they need to be with the owners that they have and the collective staff that they've put together.
So, question for both of you:
Yes, sir.
If let's just say Man United continue on this path where they're mid-table and Newcastle isn't where they want to be, and Ten Hag's gone and Eddie Howe gets fired, Eddie Howe to Man United?
Nope.
Don't like
Think
it?
so?
Nope.
No.
Okay.
You think they're sticking it out with Eric Ten Hag?
If they cut Ten Hag, I think they already have the replacement who's sitting right to his right on the bench.
Okay.
Rude.
Yep.
How rude to hire your
But
replacement.
why wouldn't whether he stays as a replacement? But I think he'd be if you let go of him midway or midterm.
Sure.
That's
Okay.
who I think they'd let finish it
That's
out.
an interesting.
Well, he's
an
part of the
interesting
club.
thought.
He's
That's-
with big history.
That's 100% who they'd let finish
Yeah.
out
That's
until
an
until the end
interesting-
of the season, and then they'll
Yep.
go from there. Because I don't think it's gonna. First thing, I don't think they're gonna cut him. I think he'll be fine.
Sure.
But if they did, it wouldn't be towards the second half of the season anyway.
Sure.
Sure.
All right. Yeah, it's an interesting thought there, Nate. All right, last game that we're going to finish up with EPL. Chelsea 6 at home. Wolverhampton Wanderers 2. This game was 2-2, by the way, early in the early into the second half, and then Chelsea went off. Cole
told
Palmer
you.
scored. Cole Palmer with a goal and 3 assists. What a nice goal he had, by the way.
I told you.
Yeah.
When you have 252 players sitting in your roster.
Oh, the number goes up every time.
What?
Yeah.
So it's 252 players that they have in the roster. Everyone's always fresh.
Yeah.
That's what it's. Everyone's always fresh. You have 10 goalkeepers, 22 midfielders, 41 strikers. Everyone's always fresh. Fresh pair of legs every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Madueke with 3 goals. He was fresh. I tell you what,
Fresh.
Nicholas Jackson scored the first goal of this game.
Was he
Oh,
fresh?
he scored.
He was fresh. He was fresh after he scored.
Everyone's so
After that, he did
fresh.
Nothing. I thought Madueke played well. I thought he took his goals well. But again, the guy pulling the strings, I feel like if you shut Cole Palmer down, you can shut this team down. They go as he goes. Pedro Neto is getting up to speed right now with Chelsea. I think they're gonna be a little suspect on defense. Yep. Brooks.
Question for you guys and our viewers.
Ooh.
Cole Palmer, Golden Boot for the EPL this year?
No, I don't think he gets Golden Boot. No, I think that's
so?
going to be Haaland again.
It's probably going to be the guy who scores the most goals on a league.
Oh, dang it. He's right.
I mean, he scores. He seems to be the
Scores, but he doesn't score the most goals.
The common goal scorer a lot for Chelsea.
He's a common goal scorer, but not the most goal scorer.
Majority of his goals last year were actually off penalties because he's a penalty kick taker.
Yeah.
I think there was like 8 or 9
from the field of play.
from penalties last year.
Oh, okay.
19, 18 he scored.
I think he can compete. I think he can stay in it for a while.
No, because he's a midfielder, there's going to be games where he's not going to be able to have many shots on goal, I feel, compared to a forward. I think the golden boot usually goes to a forward like a Haaland who's able to be up there for tap-ins or able to be up there for, crosses where those deep-lying midfielders aren't going to be. I just don't see – there's not too many long-range goals scored anymore, so I just don't see him being a golden boot winner.
Palmer has 1.
Has 1 so far. Yeah, scored 1.
And Erling Haaland has 4.
That's a good point. Yeah. Brent says Haaland, unfortunately, and then Oak says Palmer will score more than 20, but not going to catch Haaland.
Now, assist leaders.
That's a lot of goals, though. 20. That's a lot of goals. But he had 3 assists today. I don't know how many he had in the first game.
3. No, 0.
0.
He was probably rested for the 291 players that they have on the roster.
Oh, incredible. All right.
I know. They keep buying more players.
I know.
Just
All right.
don't stop.
We're getting – I can't believe it's we're 54 minutes in here, boys.
I have a question. Do you think that Chelsea buys so many players so they can have 2 squads to scrimmage each other?
Maybe they should start a second. Maybe they should just buy another club and just be Chelsea B.
You mean 2 squads of 25 to scrimmage against each other, right?
Well, 4 squads and you do a round robin.
Yeah.
Like every 10 minutes you switch. Like team goes up, team goes down.
18 tournament. Everybody find 11 players to get with.
How do you think the Chelsea tournament would go? The interleague Chelsea tournament with the
Cole
12
would win. Whoever.
Well, it's like the loanees versus the ones that are actually there too, right?
Yeah, it's incredible.
I would like to see the 12 teams that makes up Chelsea's roster split up into a 12-team tournament. Then they could film it for Chelsea TV. It'd be awesome.
Yeah.
It'd be so good.
A documentary.
Documentary?
Yeah.
That'd be pretty funny,
I
actually.
mean, they only have 10 goalkeepers.
This is true.
Yeah.
This is true.
They'll have to tap in the youth squad to get 2 more.
Oh, my word.
Some of our Americans might actually play too. Maybe they can notice Gaga and then Caleb Wiley that goes there.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Oh, what a Chelsea. What have you become?
Maybe that's what Bowley was. That's his master plan. He's like, screw this league. I have accumulated enough players to make my own league.
Good point. He might be doing that. Strange. The Chelsea League. All right. We are going to do it in a couple minutes. It might be a few minutes after 10, but we are going to do call in right down here. We'll put the big.
It's going to go
number.
so bad.
There'll probably be a technical error.
So many technical errors.
God, we will see. I pray there's not. But before that, you know what? We're going to fit in Bundesliga.
Stay for the disaster that is the call.
Stay for that. We're going to fit in Bundesliga. Nate, the Bundesliga is officially back.
Woo!
I was glued to my television.
Why?
Why? I love watching the Bundesliga.
Oh.
Listen. Okay, so I don't know where you want to start with this, but obviously a nice win, come from behind win against Wolfsburg for Bayern Munich.
They got problems.
They have a lot of problems.
Bayern
Munich kept giving the ball away in the back, and they're like, oh my God, you're creating your own issues right now. What the F are you doing? And it's very telling. I said it last year and the year before. Manuel Neuer is, in my opinion, one of the weak links in that team. I think he needs to figure this out and needs to leave. I think they could get hurt because, yes, he's a big goalkeeper, but he's not quite what he was before. They're in the back. I think there's going to be 6s and 7s. They're going to let in goals. The only hope they have is to win every game 6-7 or 3-2 like this with Musiala and Gnabry and Kane putting the ball in the back of the net because, oh my word, man.
Kim and McKendo is a liability. I mean, absolute liability. Boy, he did all right back there, but Kim McKendo is bad. Like,
Kim was a nightmare.
Kim is,
God.
This is what I kept on saying when everyone said, well, he couldn't make it. No. De Ligt wanted to leave. He was done. I think they really were hoping to get Jonathan Tah. Could still happen. If they don't, that's a really suspect back line until Hiroi Ito comes back because Hiroi Ito will come in and he will take over for either Kim or McKendo, whoever.
I think it has to be Kim at this point, but it'll probably be McKendo.
I don't know because McKendo, even though he had a decent all right game, he is prone. But that's the thing. Like their attack going forward, great. You know what I mean? Olsi, Musiala, Gnabry, Kane. You are great going forward.
Yep.
In the middle, so.
Yeah.
In the back, friggin' nightmare.
Yeah.
In the back, friggin' goddamn nightmare. And you know what?
It's going to be interesting to see this team, how they go through this league and compete in the Champions League, because in the last couple of years, you and I have picked Bayern Munich to do really well in the Champions League. To do really well, win or lose or semifinal loss. I don't think they get anywhere close to it with this current crop of players.
Here's the thing. Leverkusen, still good.
Yeah.
Lose it.
Yep.
So far, didn't lose anything. If they keep Jonathan Tah,
Yep.
still the team to beat. Dortmund went out and bought enough weapons and toys to go, we really want to push for this thing.
They are making a real push.
They made a real indentured effort here to go forward. And
Bayern Munich could finish outside of the top 4 if they keep with this road.
Dortmund has a player, we'll talk about that in the game, who is probably the next Jude Bellingham on the wing for him if he keeps progressing like he is.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
English and all.
Ooh.
Get your English fancy on.
Now you've piqued
And
my interest.
Red Bulls, or Leipzig, basically, they're with the pickup of Simmons and their forward Sissoko, absolutely great. Like that guy was playing phenomenal. So they're a solid team as well, and Stuttgart's still in there.
We should have started with the Bundesliga champions from last year. That's where we should have started this segment.
Yeah,
so I
what?
apologize.
Dirk?
Bayer Leverkusen champions.
God, that was a great match.
Leave it late again. Are they the comeback kings?
Yeah.
Are they just not the Oh my God. 11 minutes into at a time. Again, pull out a win, a 3-2 victory.
It's starting to get ridiculous.
It really is.
It's borderline, like, come on. Now, reality was they were probably going to tie. You know, if it winded down.
Our predictions were safe based on when we all thought that they were going to lose their first game. It wasn't going to be this week.
It was going to be this
And
week.
They
I think
didn't
they're
draw. They went on to win.
But
Florian Wirtz.
Wirtz just came on. Like,
Is that kid not magic?
he is magic.
Oh my God.
Real Madrid's going to love him and their coach.
Next year.
Next year when they both go over there at a package deal, it's going to be amazing.
When Xavi Alonso takes him.
But really, Xhaka's goal, fantastic.
Yep.
Hit just out of nowhere.
Banger.
Florian Wirtz all over the place. Really good.
Yep.
Was it Tapa? I'm going to mess up this name. Tapasobea, defender, also had a long-range shot that hit the post and went out. Leverkusen's operating on full cylinders. They basically picked up where they went, all right, cool, new year, keep going, and it's the same stuff. And the will to win on that team is purely amazing.
It's incredible.
Yep.
It is just something. Behold how they keep, as I'm looking for the rest of the scores here, how they just keep coming back. All right, other scores that happen in the Bundesliga: Augsburg 2, Werder Bremen 2.
Yeah, it was an all right game,
Yep.
back and forth.
Mainz 1, Union Berlin 1.
So, real quick on this one, this is the most Bundesliga thing you'll ever have, ever. Mainz versus Union Berlin, both teams about to get relegated. Bo Svensson, who is the coach for Mainz, was fired at the end of the year, like right before they got relegated.
Make it happen for me.
Do you want to know who he was coaching for in that game? Union Berlin.
Hey!
Yeah, switches up.
Switches up.
And what's funny about that is he's never coached for anyone but Mainz in there. So that was his first time walking into Mainz with Union Berlin
And coaching against his own
coaching
team.
against his own team.
That's always the way it happens, isn't
and
it?
yeah, that was a good tie. It was a kind of emotional match for them, if you will.
Sure. That's the most Bundesliga thing ever.
That
I
is
think
the
you're right.
most Bundesliga thing that you'll have of the week.
RB Leipzig 1, Bochum 0. Leipzig off to a decent start there.
I'm telling you, Sissoko is on fire. That kid was everywhere except for actually scoring. And Xavi Simmons was solid. And it looks like they got rid of Danny Olmo. Obviously went on and picked up this Nusa. And
Scored the goal.
he is hitting the ground, running right from Club Brugge. He is not bad. He had a hell of a shot, and he had a couple really good plays within that game.
And then we're moving on to Hoffenheim 3, and I got to get a little closer here because
Holstein Kiel.
Holstein Kiel.
I was going to say Kiel. Is it Kiel?
Kiel, whatever.
Holstein Kiel 2.
Yeah.
So Hoffenheim 3, Holstein Kiel 2.
All three from Kremik,
Yep.
three, and he was just on fire. Holstein was the first time in the Bundesliga, I believe, and they were welcome to an away match at Hoffenheim that just they got sucker
American
punched.
owned, by the way.
Sucker punched.
Yes, you're right. All right. Sorry, Nate.
Go for it.
Freiburg 3.
Didn't happen.
Stuttgart 1.
All right, so good news on this one is this Dramovic, solid, awesome kung fu kick goal. Second time he's tried it. First time he hit it within 2 matches. It looked great. That was the plus side. And then everything else.
And then everything else.
I mean, it wasn't a bad match. Here's what you got going on. You got Freiburg playing. You got a new manager in who's a staple of the club with this Julian Schuster. He used to play a defensive midfielder. They haven't had a new manager in a gajillion years because they were running with a guy who was with them forever. So first new manager at a home stadium, and it's a derby match because Freiburg's exactly about hour to 45 minutes from Stuttgart. You're walking into a hornet's nest. Their first goal, Freiburg, it was defensive mishap after defensive mishap after defensive mishap. Even the second goal was just, the goalkeeper should have came out and pick it up, and he didn't, and it slid right into him and then into the net. It was just wacky.
Ooh.
So, am I worried? Yeah, we're going to get relegated. No, I'm not worried.
Early days, first game.
I think early days, first game, it really, they're going to take a minute to adjust to the guys that they lost and kind of bled in the guys that they have and kind of click. But I think they'll be all right. I believe in Sebastian Hoeneß, and they do have a good squad, so we'll see how that goes. It was one of those games is the best way to put it. It was one of those games,
Last game that happened Saturday, Borussia Dortmund 2, Eintracht Frankfurt 0.
This is the team that I think is quietly going to be really good. They picked up Anton.
They picked up a lot of players.
They picked up Anton. They picked up Pascal Gross.
Yeah,
they picked up my boy who wasn't able to play due to injury, Godesle. And the guy that I thought came on that looked really good, Jamie Giddens. Jamie Giddens, 20-year-old left winger from England, who was originally a Man City U18 player, then went over to Dortmund, and he's kicked around, but he came on fire. In
Sounds like a name and a player we've got to keep tabs on to watch.
He was also the player of the match.
Oh, even better.
Off the bench at the 59-minute, 2 goals,
Okay.
player of the match. Both goals were class. Both goals just pure effort. Goal. First goal was assisted by Pascal Gross. Second goal, he ran the majority of the field and just buried it. So he's one to watch.
All right.
Speaking of young English players like you were, the gentleman from Aston Villa,
Morgan Rogers.
This is one to watch where I think he has a lot of potential and he's going to get a lot of playing time. And Gio Reyna even got in the match, and he'll never see the field again because of Giddings.
I was about to say, so how did Gio Reyna do? But
he walked on the field.
Yeah.
And then left.
Yeah. So, all right. Well,
his
Bundesliga
mom
kicked
called.
off.
He wasn't happy.
His mom called. Bundesliga kicked off. I tell you what, guys, I think if you haven't jumped on the Bundesliga bandwagon yet, you should, because as you just saw, there's some absolutely phenomenal players and teams. Leipzig are going to be a player in this. Borussia Dortmund are going to be a player in this. Stuttgart, again, are going to be a player in this. This is not Bayern Munich's. And then this is not Bayern Munich's league. This isn't your grandfather's league, right, with Bayern Munich winning it every single year. And Bayer Leverkusen are the comeback kids. If you guys can watch, I really hope, just sit down, watch Bayer Leverkusen in the next couple of weeks. A phenomenal team. Xavi Alonso has that team clicking along, and they leave it late every game. So maybe click in around the 85th minute. You're bound to see drama. But no, seriously, watch the entire thing. All right, listen. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna head to a quick break, and then we're gonna open up.
Can I turn the fan on?
You can turn the fan on for the minute. But then we're gonna come back, and guys, we're gonna try a new feature. We're gonna try call-in. It's one line. We got one line. So if you get the busy signal or whatever, sorry about your luck, but we're gonna try it. We're gonna see what happens.
Just hit redial a bunch. So, I'm sure that will fix things.
The number will pop up once we get back.
Who's here? Raise your hand here if you're nervous. Raise your hand here if you're excited. Raise your hand if you have a nervous boner.
Oh boy. Yeah. All right, we'll be right back. Hi, Brooks. We're at our favorite store, Soccer World in Rochester. We're just going to do some light shopping. Okay. Nothing big. Ooh, pretty colors. Oh, and one of these too?
Ooh, Germany. Nate would like this.
Hey, Brooks, look at all these. Look what I got.
America, ooh. Wow, that's not MLS. Ugh.
Socks? No.
Ooh, a ball pump. Next in line.
Sir, you're next.
Right. That's a mannequin. You know that.
Huh? Oh,
Mannequin.
oh. Sorry, sir.
Craig, what are you doing?
Nothing.
Huh?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to open up the. We're about to open it up here for calls. This is going to be unique.
It's like as good as the moon landing.
It's close. Did airplay kick on there? For
It
you
did,
boys?
yes.
All right.
One small step for mankind.
Here we go. All right.
One giant leap for We Are Soccer.
All right. What are you mad about? What do you want to chat about? Let's see how this goes. Call us 248-308-5989. That'd be funny if I put
What
the wrong.
grind your gears?
Ooh, yeah. It'd be funny if I put the wrong phone number and some poor
Oh,
woman
geez.
starts receiving like a million phone calls. So we'll see what happens here. I'll make sure we put it on some of the other screens for the boys here as well. But if anybody's interested in doing a little call-in, give us a call. We'll see how this works. I got to get to the right screen here. Where's the voice thing? Probably need to refresh this, and we'll see.
How long are we holding this on for? The whole hour, or just
No,
30 minutes?
No, we still got a couple of other segments we need to get to.
Yeah, I was
so
gonna say.
We'll do. If no one calls in, then we ain't gonna do nothing, are we? And it looks like we got no call in. Which might make me kind of happy, to be honest, because you know.
We'll see.
We shall see. Let's see if this works. Do I have in the? No, you know what? Something clicked off. All right. We'll see. I got everything set up. No callers.
Man.
Ooh.
Remember when you thought you had friends?
Yeah, but they're all sitting in this room.
All right, to break the silence,
Yeah.
grab your whiteboards, boys.
Oh, you got a question?
Yes, Bundesliga top 4.
All right, hold on. I'm going to switch us over to another screen here.
Top four.
Bundesliga top 4?
Yes,
Oh, that's a great.
on the whiteboards.
That's a great question, actually. Where's my whiteboard? Where'd my whiteboard go? Oh,
We're writing them all down one after another, or
Sure, one after another. Why
What
not?
are you doing? Like,
Let's start from 4 and work up to 1.
okay, so one. Okay.
That's a really good question. Why didn't we do a prediction
I don't know.
segment for the show like we did with the EPL?
I don't know.
Because you hate me.
Well, now I'm really. All right, so we're starting at. Who do you think finishes 4th?
Yeah, start at 4th. Yeah.
Okay. Oof. Let me think.
Oh, I can tell you right now, I'm good.
Go ahead, Nate.
RB Leipzig.
Interesting.
I think we'll be 4th. Oh.
I was writing like finished.
What do you got? What do you got?
Stuttgart.
Oh, well, I appreciate it, but that's not happening.
Yeah, I say I don't know about this year, but you never know.
I'm okay with them being Europa champions.
All right, so now who's going to finish 3rd?
Yep.
Yeah. All right, you want me to reveal first, Nate?
Go for it.
All right, I got
Oh,
Borussia.
Dortmund.
Ooh.
Munchen.
Oh.
Yeah.
Munich.
Yeah.
I think that back line is going to be problematic. All
RB Leipzig.
You got Leipzig. So you got
All right.
Stuttgart and Leipzig. So I want to know who's going to miss out there. All right. Who finishes 2nd? I think we're all going to have the same winner, by the way. Brooks,
Nope.
No?
Nope.
Oh, okay. Ooh, I'm interested. Brooks, why don't you reveal yours first?
Number 2, Dortmund.
Okay. All right. Go ahead, Nate.
Leverkusen.
Whoa.
I think the Champions League games are going to add up, and I think they're gonna be nudged out.
Okay.
Munchen, okay.
Munchen for me. So, interesting. Okay, I know who you've got for your winner, obviously.
Stuttgart.
Yes.
Fooled you all.
I know who you've got.
I got mine. You want me to share?
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, then Dortmund, huh?
Dortmund.
Yep.
I got Leverkusen as well.
Leverkusen
I think
as well.
they just added too many players. The only question mark is going to be their coach, who's a first-year guy. But I don't know. I have a good feeling about them this year. I think they got stronger everywhere they needed to get stronger across the board.
Interesting.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
So you think the toll is going to really weigh on Leverkusen?
Yeah, I question how deep their bench is. And, I mean, it was fine for Europa, but I think Champions League is going to be a little tough on them. So we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, that's a concern for any club that gets into the Champions League because you have to do well in the Champions League to not look stupid, right? So you got to put a lot of players and effort in. You don't want to look – and you got to play the big boys. It's the big boys of every league. So there's a lot that's taken out of it. There's a lot less
Again, I'm not saying they're not going to be top 4. I'm just saying they're not going to be number 1 this year.
Right.
I think they're going to be number 2. I think they're going to be slightly out of it. And I think Dortmund's going to nudge them out based on the players they bought.
Fair enough.
And you got to put all those. Yeah, the only thing with Dortmund is you got to put all those players together. But by the way, Dortmund, I thought were class when they played against Villa a couple of weeks ago in a preseason friendly. I thought they were humming along early in preseason with all those players.
You had you added the second best goal scorer there is in the league.
Yeah.
You added one of the better defenders.
Yeah.
You grabbed in a midfielder who has had the most assists in the most assists in the Premier League with Pascal Gross. So you just got better across the board.
Yeah. No.
In every area that you should or need to get better.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. All right. Why don't we talk about La Liga for a couple of minutes here, boys?
All right.
La Liga's kicked off there in week 2 as well. Real Madrid played Real Valladolid today. Endrick is off the mark and gets his first goal for Real Madrid, the 19-year-old. I don't think this player's going to make it based on what I've seen so far. He's just quick. He's just really quick. But other than that, he makes some bad decisions, and I don't see him making it. But either way, Real Madrid off the mark there. Mbappe, week number 2 in La Liga, does not score. It was not a good showing for him. Overall, Real Madrid won 3-0. It was an easy win. But they're not quite up and humming along yet. They're missing a couple players here and there. But they are off and running. But Barcelona versus Athletic Club, late drama. Lamine Yamal does it again, as does Robert Lewandowski. Lewandowski hit the post twice in this game. And Dani Olmo, by the way, still has not been registered, as we said earlier, by Barcelona and wasn't available for this game. 2 games in a row, not in the squad. But Barcelona left it late. A nice goal for Lewandowski as they win 2-1. Now, I just you know what? Give me a second here. Let's put up the La Liga table. Celta Vigo leading the way after 2 games. Barcelona find themselves in the top 2. Atletico Madrid third. Real Madrid even at 1-1 are in 4th. Valencia going to struggle this year. Girona down 1-1, excuse me, at the bottom there. Alvarez are going to struggle. Espanyol are going to struggle again. Athletic Club, I think, will struggle. I think Nico Williams needs to find his way out of that team. Sevilla, probably where they're going to end up, probably right there. But La Liga, this will be an interesting...
I mean, isn't the surprise Girona?
It was last year, but right now they're just 0-1. -3 on goal difference. Yeah.
And they're part of the Etihad group, so, they got money.
Yeah, but they don't spend a lot of money. It's bizarre. I know. They're almost like a filter club.
Oh, it's like you loan your guys that need to get
Yeah.
ready, for the Premier League to Girona, and there you go.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm interested to see how that finishes up. I think we're all expecting Real Madrid to run away with this. All right, so one of the rumors that's happening right now in La Liga is specifically for Real Madrid. Vinicius Jr. is considering his options. He has received a huge offer to move to Saudi Arabia. He has yet to make a decision. He's yet to come out and say anything. Huge offer. He's offered I think I want to say it's like $350 million a year.
I think Victor Osimhen was offered some big Saudi Arabia contract. I'm
Yes.
hearing that that
He is.
actually could possibly go down.
Yep.
Which is wild.
It is. If I could find my notes here on the Osimhen piece.
2 young players that are really, really good.
Yeah, it's like why though?
Wasting your career just for the money.
Right? So one of the I think Victor Osimhen, from what I'm hearing from several publications out there, one of the reasons a lot of other clubs haven't inquired about him. The only one that really has, and he wants to go to Chelsea. The stumbling block right now is his £500,000 a week demand. He wants to earn £500,000 per week.
Combine that with that nice release clause.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Al Hilal of the Saudi Arabian League have officially submitted a 65 million euros package deal for Osimhen. So there is a chance he will end up there. This window, by the way, the window in Europe finishes Friday, August 30th, 11 p.m. British Standard Time. I believe that is 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let's just go
They're
with
6 hours behind us, right?
Depends on the year. Depends on the month. I think there's 5 at the moment.
Oh, depends on daylight
I
saving.
want to say it's 5. I want to say
Okay.
it's 5. So here are some of the players that haven't moved yet that really do need to find a spot to move. I've listed them out in order. Raheem Sterling from Chelsea. Been told by Chelsea he has surplus to requirements. Out the door. See ya. Villa are in talks right now with Raheem Sterling. I don't know about that.
That would bring their roster size down to 292 players.
Yeah. So they're hoping to get him out.
Good.
Yeah. Ivan Toney. Rumor is Brentford are negotiating right now with Saudi Arabia for him. So another one could be off to the Middle East. Goalkeeper backup for Arsenal, Aaron Ramsdale. Not happy that he is the backup once again.
He's going to some other Premier League team.
Looks like Southampton made a bid for him, but they've actually just brought in another goalkeeper, so I don't know what's going to happen there. Arsenal do want to keep a hold of him because you do need, with all the competitions you're in, you do need a good backup, and he's a good backup. Mark Guay, Ben Chilwell, and Scott McTominay. We already talked about that. We know he's heading to Napoli. Not officially, nothing signed, but that looks like it's happening. Victor Osimhen. And the other one, Lukaku. Lukaku has a deal in place with Napoli, so he's heading there. Napoli and Chelsea are in the middle of agreement, or talking contract negotiations on the sale right there. So that one looks to be happening. Once that happens, I feel the Victor Osimhen domino will fall. But we are 5 days away. We're literally almost 4 days away now from the transfer window closing. So who knows?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of business that always happens in the back end.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah, we'll see. So a bunch of rumors that happened this week. We talked about Chelsea and Victor Osimhen. This one, Nate, you mentioned it earlier, was really a surprise to me. Chelsea looking to bring in possibly Jadon Sancho.
Let's go.
What the hell is that?
They needed 302 players to start their season, and he fits that need of a player. He happens to be a player that has shoes.
Yes.
And Chelsea is looking for players that have shoes
a heartbeat.
and
Warm blood pumping through his veins.
There's a lot of jerseys and uniforms you gotta keep producing.
They don't
for
even.
people.
You know what? They keep buying all these players. They don't even have a sponsor for the front of their shirt.
They don't need one.
I think. By the way, if
Can
I
they
was-
be like the Liga MX teams where like their players eventually 101 and 100?
Yes.
Yes.
I would. If I was a Chelsea supporter, I'd be purchasing that jersey right now before a sponsor is placed on it. I would love a jersey, by the way, that didn't have a sponsor in the middle.
So it is interesting with Jadon Sancho, because PSG has been kicking around. I've heard Juventus is kind of kicking around.
I say the next
too.
on the list is Juventus,
Yeah.
but there's a stumbling block again, which is his
Juventus has no money?
wages. No,
Oh.
Juventus have money, but they don't want to pay £350,000 a week. So they've contacted. The rumor is through Fabrizio Romano. Juventus have contacted Man United and said, we're interested. We can offer this much money, but we also possibly need to maybe do a loan deal.
Yeah, the whole
We can't afford his wages.
That whole loan guarantee to buy thing, which maybe why not? I mean,
But what that means is United would have to pay some of his wages.
you know what? Depending on what's going on there, and who knows, we heard the rumor was Sancho and Eric Ten Hag kissed and made up, but you know what? He hasn't really been playing or dressing. So depending on really what's going on there, they might be in the best interest to just kind of move someone on if it's not working out.
Rumor has it he traveled down with the club to Brighton and Hove Albion for the game yesterday, but didn't make the bench, didn't dress. So
See, I have a theory that I'll just say it. I have a theory that United might go in for Ivan Toney after buying Sancho or selling Sancho.
better get that Sancho seal done soon.
But that's the thing. If
Yeah.
you got Sancho and McTominay going out, and you didn't need McTominay to go out in order to buy Ugarte, you got money now for Ivan Toney.
Mm-hmm.
See,
and you got to look at the team. What are they lacking? They're lacking goals.
This is gonna
Lacking
sound
goals.
this is gonna sound like I'm a hater at the moment, but
No, hate away, my friend.
last year would have been the year to get Ivan Toney and then not Hoyland. If that makes sense, because last year I feel a goal scorer was really needed, and Hoyland didn't fill that need. You needed someone who's a proven goal scorer. This year, I think you have Hoyland, and now you may stunt his growth a little bit. If
I think
bring
you
in
could
Toney.
rotate them. I think you're fine. I mean, every successful United team has had about three strikers.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, a normal team will have 3 strikers. Your main one, your backup, and then the third.
Xerxes is more of a 10 too, and can play out wide.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to
several
see
different players.
if they buy another striker, where Hoyland and Zerke fit in and how they rotate those.
You
players.
need goals.
Yeah, goals is what.
You need goals. That's what they've needed. That's
Yeah.
what they've been lacking. And if you improved your back line, which they have,
Mm-hmm.
and then you improve your midfield, which they're going to do, that's the one area left.
Right. Last rumor that this one really jumped out at me. I hadn't heard this one before until this morning. Arsenal are exploring the 48 million euro release clause of Nico Williams from Athletic Club. That I could see happening. He plays on the left, so Martinelli would be the player who sits down there. I think Nico Williams. The problem with Nico Williams is, as Yamin Lamal called it out today, he's lazy. He's a bit lazy on the field. Lamal got matched up against him and said, I was matched up against him, and I knew I was going to be able to run around him and score, take a shot. So I knew he wasn't going to track back.
Do they really need an outside midfielder too? Like, I mean, I still look at it and like they need a 9. You know what I mean?
They
Like,
definitely need a 9.
I don't think they need another.
Ivan Toney would make more sense to Arsenal.
Yeah, and that's what I said originally. You know,
Yeah.
but it's like it doesn't seem like they're sniffing around for that.
I
you know?
agree. Maybe they're just maybe they're looking at Nico Williams and that price tag, and hopefully getting Brentford to lower their price on what they're hoping they sell Ivan Toney, or what they want for Ivan Toney. I don't know. It's interesting, but that's one I had not heard until this morning, so I was really surprised by that one. All right, we got a lot of other things to get to. Listen. I don't know if you guys saw this, but Christian Pulisic becomes the first American ever to score in 10 seasons in Europe's top 5 leagues.
Yep.
Is he now one of the greatest U.S. soccer players who's played in Europe to play in Europe? Is he America's best ever European league player?
It's between him and Tyler Adams that's played 3 games in 2 years.
I mean, listen, so the guys so I would say probably the greatest ones that have gone over there is obviously Claudio Reyna, probably John Harkes. We'll probably consider obviously Pulisic, and then I would say Dempsey, and then goalkeeper Tim Howard. Would you consider Brad Friedel in there?
How do you not have Steve Trindle in there, who played like 13 seasons in Hanover in the first division Bundesliga?
But now you have someone who's scored in 10 straight seasons in the top 5 league.
Sure.
I mean, he's been in the Bundesliga, he's played in the Premiership, now he's in Serie A. I mean, the only thing he hasn't done is
Played
La
in
Liga.
Liga.
Well, Liga
And La Liga.
La Liga would be the next one, right? But
Yeah.
to score a goal in those leagues 10 straight years, that's incredible.
I go with yes.
Sure, I'd say he's probably the best.
I'd say he's probably at this point.
because he's gotten the most chances than anyone else. Everyone's been kind of one team, and then they head back to America.
Yeah, I put him down as the top best of American player to export.
It was between him and Gio Reyna.
Clearly. Yes, we just need a couple more text messages from his mom to.
That's what she sent me.
That's
why I added.
That's
she,
what you. That's
she
your-
shot me a message.
She was like,
and
"Can you
said-
mention my son again?
Yeah.
He
And
may
I
get
said,
more playing time.
no
if you
problem.
mention him." All right, Wrexham 3-0 over Reading. They're fourth. They're in 4th place in League One right now. 3 games in. Early doors here. 2 wins, 1 draw, no losses. Wrexham looking like they could be doing it again.
Mm-hmm.
Is it possible?
I told
it
you
possible?
they're
Yeah.
gonna do it again.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, oh God, I don't think they do, but
I think players just want to play there. Listen, you get to be in the documentary every year if they keep winning, and then you get
They can outspend everyone else.
exactly.
Let's just be frank about it.
And until you probably run into a championship side like we talked about, where then they have to play with big boy money.
Yep. That's where they're gonna hit a wall.
Yeah.
that's one. Okay, listen.
But it seems like a
these
nice
two
place
owners
to
aren't
play.
dumb, right? They're not
No.
dumb. They're very smart.
They're going to need another guy to come in and
I was
help
about to
them.
say, do you think they're exploring that right now?
Yes.
I mean, because they're like, hey, we're in League One.
Yes.
Listen,
I'm sure they know a nice hedge fund manager that's got a lot of money.
do you think we can go find a billionaire who's going to want to invest with us?
Yes.
We'll give him 33%, 40%.
Yes.
And he invests a couple $100 million when we
Mhm.
get to the championship, and boom, here we are.
Yep.
I mean,
Yep.
they're not dumb. Do you think they're doing that? Yeah.
Yep.
You think? All right.
I think that they make a lot more money than everyone
think?
realizes because with the sponsorship deals, all
Yeah.
the social media stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I really do. I think there's levers in there that they're. Listen, was it Charlton's in there? Who do you think's making more money, Charlton or Wrexham all over the place FC with multiple TV show deals
I
and.
mean, listen. Charlton have a nice stadium. They got a good fan. No, of course, Wrexham make a lot more money.
Exactly. That's my point.
And Reading, they do very well. Formerly of the Premier League, by the way. Listen, I don't expect them to finish in the top 3. They may get into playoffs. I don't think they'll make it this year, but I think in the next.
They need it for
2
the
years
next
they will.
season. They'll
I mean, let's
there.
be honest,
They'll
in the
be fine.
championship, Sunderland's on top right now. Who makes more money, Wrexham or Sunderland? Wrexham, for sure.
Well, Sunderland have a very nice 25-seat seat
They
stadium.
do, but they've
25,000
had a lot of
stadium.
financial. If you've watched the Sunderland documentary,
Yeah, they had a
got
good
lot.
documentary. So
Yeah,
they're
nice
not. But the documentary doesn't only had
No.
2 seasons, and Wrexham has
But-
had 3 with the 4th one on the way. So
lot of
I
the-
would say that
The majority of your money these days comes from your TV rights deals,
Yes.
not including your documentaries, right? So
Sure.
your TV rights deals and your shirt sales and your seat sales, your season tickets.
Mhm.
I would bet if you put, I'd bet that Sunderland earn more money based on 25,000 seat stadium, which is Stadium of Light is a beautiful stadium, by the way.
nope,
I would love to look it up.
nope. I think if you're was it Stroked Coffee or Stoked Coffee?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stoke
How much
Coffee.
money do you think that they paid to have their name flashed across Hulu on a regular basis?
No.
Are you kidding me?
A lot of money.
No, I mean, okay, so I'm going to give you this right now. Who's bigger, Wrexham or Aston Villa?
Let me think.
One's been in the Premiership for N1.
You're right,
right?
Wrexham.
So
No, no, Austin Villa it is.
Aston
But Austin
Villa
Villa also doesn't have an Emmy-nominated show.
we are not a Champions League, Man United known
Yeah.
commodity where we can charge 15 to 20 million per year for this. Villa typically, and a Villa-sized, a Newcastle, a Villa, anyone in that range gets 5 to 6 million. Stoke Coffee didn't pay 5 to 6 million for that.
I
think they
bet you
did.
though on
I think
this
they
on the
paid
shirt, I
a
bet.
million, or we can look it up.
the
I
stands-
bet you on the
don't
shirt
think
that
they
the
would've paid that
sponsor pays a
much.
lot for
We'll
Wrexham.
look it up.
No, I'm sorry. Like
They didn't pay
it's
5 million
2
for
different ball games. You got Ryan Reynolds, who's in the #1 movie of America. You have a highly hit TV show that's an Emmy nominated.
Sure.
That's what they're paying for. They're not paying for the people in the stands.
I agree.
They're paying for their name to be on Hulu.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what they're paying for.
They're not paying. I agree.
That's what it is.
I agree, but they don't want to overpay. They want to go, how much do all the other teams pay? All right, cool. It's probably worth
You
double
can't
that.
compare the other
I agree.
teams.
Did you find anything, Brooks, of how much Stoke Coffee
Trying
put
to.
in?
It's probably not going to come up.
I mean,
It's probably really secure. And
They also had
find
TikTok, Expedia. They've
no.
had several marquee
I 100%
sponsors
agree.
that never would have sponsored a League Nothing team.
I agree. I 100% agree. But if you want to
they
step
got
in,
Gatorade because I've noticed like Gatorade's a big
Again,
sponsor because it's around there.
100%. Everybody has Gatorade, by the way.
Well,
That's a league sponsor. Those could be league sponsors.
I don't know.
So listen, what did the average player in a Premiership sale
They're
and
not.
purchase?
They're not buying Premiership players.
But that's
at
where
this
they got to get to. I don't think they have enough money to get to that level.
No,
They need
but
an
you're
investor.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
They have enough money to jump into the championship. That's where they're going to stall out until they figure
Yes.
the rest of it out.
Yes. I think
Chances
that's
are
what
they probably got people ready to go.
that's what I'm saying. I think they could get to championship, but that's where they'll show out, and they'll need another investor. That's where they'll
Yes,
need
they will definitely
someone,
need a third investor.
billionaire.
But I
coming.
believe, Nate, that they probably do make a lot from their social media following,
Oh, of
plus
course
everything
they do.
else they do.
Oh, of course.
They
They make more than anybody in that league or in the championship.
I think they understand way more than other clubs how big other businesses are. You know, where they've mostly been, well, we need the big money guy because, you know, they market themselves very well, Wrexham.
Absolutely. That's one of the best things they do. Absolutely. They earn more money than anybody for shirts, sponsor, and anything else.
Yes.
And they sell more shirts than any club in that division or the division above them.
Yep.
Absolutely 100% guaranteed. I think we're arguing the same thing. I don't think they make it this year, but I think they could in the next year or two get to the championship. But that's when they go, yeah, we need to get some big boy money in here. I don't think they have it. I mean, you want to go buy a player in the championship, a good player, you're 10 to 20 million.
Yeah.
And that's
the question is, too, in the roster,
player.
how many guys are championship level right now?
I have no idea.
And that's the thing is, like, I wish I watched more and could evaluate and compare.
Well,
I'm sure they have a few guys that are probably championship level,
even
but
if
they
you
probably
watch
have to
more. They don't tell you much about the players. They tell you all about Susie and Lily and.
Well, you have
Jim,
to
they're
watch
the
them more.
fans.
You know, like I said, they're on Paramount Plus now, EFL League One. So
yeah.
you know, I got to watch that and then flip it to ESPN Plus to watch Championship.
I have pretty much given up on the documentary. I liked season 1, and then season 2 started off the same way, and I can't finish it. I just got bored with it. All right, you know what? There is something I do want to talk about, boys. One thing real quick, by the way, Inter Miami clinched a playoff spot yesterday. Just an FYI. Without Mr. Lionel Messi. So
That's a pretty nasty ankle injury. I don't think he might not play for the rest of the year.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I mean, you know, they got to be working on it, but I think they'll find a way to get him back for the playoffs now that they've clinched. Suarez did a double last night after 7 minutes. I think FCC didn't really come out to play last night, so just a typical MLS game there. New collective bargaining agreements. This is something, Brooks, I want to talk about with you. This is a new collective bargaining agreement for the NWSL. This is groundbreaking. They've signed this, and it goes through to the year 2030, I believe. This is a really big deal. I think this is going to pave the way. I'm hoping some of the other leagues in this country, I'm hoping a lot of the other leagues pay attention to this. So, yeah. All right, something to talk about. We'll be right back to chat about that. I'm Craig Hearn. Today, I'm here with the football doc, Dr. Zachary Atwood. He's going to show me some simple exercises and stretches to do before my soccer games. Because to be honest, I'm getting a little older and I need to be better prepared for these games. All right, he's got some stuff he's going to show us. Let's jump in.
What's up, guys? Dr. Zach here with Craig. We're going through a dynamic warm-up here. Super important, especially in this age group as we get older. A lot of guys that I see, they go right from their car and straight to the field without any warm-up. We want to make sure that we're getting the body warm, we're getting loose, we get the heart rate up so that we can help reduce injury. All right, guys, so I've got Craig currently doing some grass sweeps. He's doing a Frankenstein stretch, and he's also going through some pogos right now. Whoa, Craig, what the hell?
Yep, sorry, Doc. All this newfangled dynamic warm-up, this and that. What was wrong with my old warm-up? Oh, yeah, the doc was right. Definitely need the new warm-up. Oh, good Lord. All right. This is a big deal, as I said, new collective bargaining agreement for the NWSL. All right, I want to do a little reading here. So there's some big changes. This is, we'll call it European style.
Yes.
What they're officially doing.
You know he's doing reading because he just put his glasses
I'm
on.
old now and I put my glasses on. So the first thing, which I actually really enjoy about sports here in America, by the way, is the draft. They're eliminating the draft. The entry draft is eliminated immediately. Expansion draft is abolished immediately. Draft is an antiquated model that treats people as property to be bought and sold. The new terms will empower players to decide which team and environment is best fit for their needs and their development. So that means essentially teams are going to have to go out and recruit players.
I love this idea.
Yeah.
MLS needs to do it as well.
Yeah.
I don't like the wording. I disagree with that.
Okay.
But I will say this. The reason why is there's so many avenue and channels that the draft just doesn't work in my opinion.
Especially for soccer.
It just doesn't. There's too many avenues, and that's really why. Stop with the treat people. But I don't agree.
It
with
just doesn't
that.
work in soccer.
I don't agree with that. But I do. It does work in places like other sports where there's a streamline. It's all coming from one place.
Correct.
You're not going to have the NFL players going and
From high school.
finding a different league. Normally, it's not right.
Yeah.
It's all one place.
Right. Yeah.
Soccer is it's all over the place. You know what I mean? It's all over the place. You got here, there, every which way. That is absolutely the right move, if you ask me.
Yes.
For that reason alone.
Yes. And the problem is with the MLS draft and the NWSL draft, you feel like you're obligated to pick players when you don't want to. So I think what it does is it forces teams to do their homework. Okay, who are the top players in college? Who are the top youth players? You know, it gives us just the just whatever. And then also it gives the other leagues like USL Super League, the new one, now competition to go fight for some of these players. Because if you don't do your homework, now you could be like, oh, wow, she ended up in the USL Super League. Like, she's the superstar. And then maybe that player does so well, she gets a bigger contract in the NWSL a couple years later. So it opens up the competition, which I am always 100% for.
I would imagine most of the players are coming from academy teams, anyways. Especially, well, at least for the MLS, and that's why they need to follow the same suit.
Yes.
Yep, that's what we're hoping to do, but we'll see if that. All right, next one. Free agency for all. All NWSL players become free agents when their current contract expires. By establishing free agency for all players, the NWSL aligns itself with the rest of the world. Free agency results in fairness of contracts with teams and players mutually agreeing to enter into a contractual relationship on even terms.
So I don't understand that.
So
Help me out.
So like Ilkay Gundogan, right?
Yeah.
He let his contract at Man City 2 years ago expire.
So they don't have that? Like,
They didn't prior. I don't
It's
know.
very so like MLS, for example, like you have to be a certain age and play in so many years of the league to become a free agent. Like, and it was and a lot for like baseball back then, like before the Curt Flood Act came in, and like even the NFL, like you were owned by your team. Like you didn't have a lot of sway and like that you didn't want to renew with the team and whatnot. And the league in NWSL and MLS control a lot. There's not a lot of player movement they give you. So I am always open again for more player movement in their decision.
again, I don't understand it, but I'm glad if
whatever
you just described it.
Whatever was happening
weird.
before.
It's weird. That's a weird thing.
Bring it in. All right.
Yeah.
Guaranteed contracts. Every contract, will be guaranteed. Guaranteed contracts generally prevent the league from terminating players' contracts prior to the end of their term, except in limited circumstances. This respects the mutuality and risk of contracts. It also protects players in the event of circumstances beyond their control, such as a latent health condition.
Yes.
Okay.
I
So,
think that's important.
I mean, that's
Isn't all contracts guaranteed? That one I don't understand either.
yeah,
but
I don't know what was there prior, but
I'm glad
It's-
because that's the purpose of a
Not-
contract.
Not all of them for players are always guaranteed because there's always some type of stipulation of something.
I don't know.
So
Either way,
but just more assurance for the players
Yep.
because that again in the men's game there's not enough assurance, especially for like the domestic players coming out of college or maybe coming through the academy and whatnot. There's not enough assurance that this is guaranteed you're going to get it for the year. There's always a thing, well, you're going to play this many games or such and such. Like there's a lot of there's too much wiggle room that the teams can do.
all right, next on the list, there's only about 3 more here, and the last one being the most important. No trades without player consent. Players cannot be traded without their consent. This protects players from being traded against their will and without knowing it in advance. Very European there, right? Like, Brooks, you and I can negotiate as clubs for a sale of a player, and then I go, hey, by the way, Nate, Brooks sold you, and you're like, no, no, I don't want to move.
Can't do it. Yeah.
Guess what? It's done. So I like that. I think it's fine. Again, this is all in line, very European. This is the way it's going. Workload management. As the league grows, the demands on players will increase. Welcome to the rest of the world and what we've been saying for months and months and months, years now, actually, with a lot of these players, right? The new CBA addresses game frequency, travel conditions, and time off. Minimum standards for charter flights are established in the new CBA, including entitling teams to 6 legs, 3 round trips, as a matter of right and requirement that teams charter for certain midweek games. Players are assured of mid-season break and a minimum of 28 days off during the off season.
I like that.
Yeah. So just essentially saying they can't. They need to have certain amounts of time off between
And chartered
seasons
flights, which are
and
nice because when you take public flights, you never know. There's only certain times you can take off. Like this is what the MLS players have concerned about too, with charter flights and leaving when they want and flying on their own plane and have to deal with everything. So yes.
All right, last one, the big one, revenue sharing. For the first time, a collectively bargained salary cap will be tied to revenue sharing on top of a guaranteed minimum base salary cap. Shareable revenues from NWSL's prior year sponsorship and media rights agreement will be added to the team salary cap. Teams will be held to a minimum spend to ensure that shareable revenues are spent on player compensation. The NWSLPA also secured audit rights to ensure compliance with this provision. Base salary cap each year will be, in 2025, $3.3 million, 2026, $3.5, 27, $4.4 million, 28, $4.7, 29, $4.9, and in 2030, $5.1 million. Prior year NWSL media and sponsorship shareable revenues will add at least $200,000 to the base salary cap of each year.
So that's good. The league's growing. You know,
Yep.
they're going to revenue share and they're going to do
the
more.
shares
So
go
that's
around.
going to help pay
Right.
players a bit more. And
Exactly.
that's, yeah.
So it ensures that the players can get paid a bit more. It ensures that the clubs can pay them. It's just that's what happens when growth happens within a business and
Yep.
a league, right?
And then
Share the wealth.
And then now you got new NWSL clubs that buy in, and that pot gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and that's positive for the women's game. I'm happy about that.
I think this is a great thing. I'd love for more leagues to take a look at this. I think, to be honest, Brooks, you may have to hit the sound button for an applause because well done to the NWSL and NWSPA for agreeing this new collective bargaining agreement, which goes in effect pretty quick here.
Yeah, I just again for the players, that's the best. Now the thing is, if the players really won this one, the next collective bargaining agreement, they may have to give up a little bit, and the next time they negotiate. So that's always how these works.
6 years away from that.
Correct.
I mean, so there's a while. We'll be there before you know it. I get that, but yeah. Yeah. I mean, listen, that's a great thing. Why don't we right now show the NWSL table? I would love to see how it's shaping up here after Week 17. Orlando Pride still on top. Washington Spirit closely behind. Again, I'll say it. Our one of our favorites, Chloe Ricketts, out with a broken leg. Looks like she'll be missing for the remainder of the year, which is unfortunate. KC Current following up there in third. Gotham in fourth, and rounding out the top five, Portland Thorns. Down at the bottom, Seattle Reign, 14th. Utah Royals in 13th, and the Houston Dash in 12th. So effectively their seasons are over. But this is going to be interesting. We'll follow this all the way to the end. So the NWSL, a league that's growing, new collective bargaining agreement. It's awesome to see. And we'll see how they do once that new what was it? The Women's Super League comes into play, right?
Yes, the USL Super League.
Yeah, so
Yes.
we'll see how that does. All right, boys. Anything else we want to chat about tonight?
Yeah, just by the way, Orlando Pride also have the longest regular season unbeaten streak in NWSL history. 18 games they've been unbeaten.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
So that's pretty awesome right there. And then one thing I'm just going to add here is that congratulations to Western Michigan men's head coach Chad Wiseman on win number 125 today after taking down number 9 New Hampshire at New Hampshire. So we may see our Western Michigan Broncos in the top 10 here for the men.
Absolutely should be in the top 10 after another win like that. I mean, they have been killing it for a couple of years now. Chad Wiseman doing a phenomenal job out there at Western Michigan.
Yep.
Absolutely top 10.
And then another milestone here as well. Jeremy Gunn, head men's coach at Stanford, win number 150 for him. And Jeremy Gunn, as people know, back-to-back national championships with Stanford, 3 in a row, which is very difficult to do.
Incredible.
So a couple of their good shouts for those. And then one we'll give a shout-out to as well as Mr. Jeff Hosler and that sellout crowd against University of Arkansas at Michigan State with 3,180 fans. Congrats to Michigan State women's soccer. And, yeah, that's all I have right now.
Congratulations, Nate. You won a tournament with your youth team.
Yeah, not important. We can just move on.
You just want to go get beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have had one thing to eat all day today.
All right, time for us to go before Nate gets really angry.
My
all right.
eyes are somehow burning from
Yeah.
like the sweat that's dripping in them. That's why I've been rubbing them for the last I can't see. I'm actually kind of blind
Yeah,
right
I
now.
thought you were still crying from Man United and Stuttgart both losing this weekend.
I'm crying because of Villa lost.
Villa definitely lost as well. That's why I was crying.
We're all crying.
Got no more tears to give, Nate. Got no more tears to give.
I got tears for you.
Okay. All right. Big thank you to Soccer World. Big thank you to Next Level Training. Big thank you to the Michigan Jaguars. And a big thank you to Thomas McGee's and the football doc, Dr. Zachary Atwood. A big thank you to the Fab Football Academy. Very much appreciate you guys and love and support you show us. Guys and girls, thank you for tuning in. Do us a huge favor. Give us a like, give us a subscription, give us a share. We'd very much appreciate it. And if you're listening to us on a podcast, give us a 5-star review. Let us know what you thought. We'd love to hear or read what you have to say. All right. For me and the boys, we're out. Cheers.
Cheers.